You think that maybe, the humans won't like that?
Big ass moth.
There's
behind
a
you.
spirit moth just floating over there.
It's like on the set, like, I don't know if anyone else saw that.
Continue.
Okay, so that could be our ending or opening for one.
Go, Janora.
Welcome back to another episode of KORRACAST. Today we are going to be reviewing the Book 2 finale, which included the episodes Darkness Falls and Light in the Dark. Pretty sweet episodes, I think we'd all agree.
Very sweet, tasty. My tongue.
On November 24th, Sunday, 5:30 Pacific time, we are going to be hosting a live chat with Avatar fans to discuss the end of this crazy, crazy season. Join us online in the chat room. Ask us your questions. We'll be here to answer any questions that you have regarding the show, regarding KORRACAST, regarding anything you want.
Our personal
Honestly,
lives.
just show up and talk to us because we don't have any friends. We'll also, to bribe you, be giving away some crappy prizes, doing trivia, and any other things that we can think of to get you to please come to our chat.
Sure, that's the most you've talked in a week. You're finally doing it.
You're a real boy.
Hey, wait a minute. Haven't we already done this before? Book 2 is over. Let's talk about it. Okay,
right to
let's just get this out of the way first. I want to talk about the Tenzin and the Aang and the Bog of Eternal Stench. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Okay, well, I think this is finally we've seen Tenzin really come into his own. He's finally learned what lessons he needs.
Was he
to
humbled
have
enough
learned.
for you, Sean?
Yes, I was so happy with where his character came. He finally admitted. He said, "Korra, I know I haven't been the greatest mentor." Boom!
Yep.
Done. Everything else he earned. He totally earned getting Denora back and his redemption with Aang and realizing blah blah blah. He finally learned that. He came full. To me, it completely made sense, and I like his character even more.
I mean, it was cool how they did it. I mean, that Spirit Bog was a cool place. We had the little Zhao thing in there.
Yeah,
that was
good.
cool. But he runs into Aang, and that's noteworthy. Because a lot of it was, the whole thing was, no, you gotta forget about me. Like, stop trying to be me. Stop worrying about Aang. I'm Aang, you're Tenzin. That was his huge big flaw that we weren't really entirely seeing. We knew he had one, and we knew he had issues, and it was hinted at. But not only that, it was kind of like the imagery of him disappearing, and then later in the episode, Korra losing her connection to the Avatar, and seeing all the avatars disappearing, and then Aang's statue being knocked down. It's like, look, guys, stop focusing on all the This is we're moving forward. We're busting through these walls, and this is its own show. We're going forward. I don't know if that's really what was intended because it works on a thematic level, but also on a breaking the fourth wall level. It almost feels like
Yeah, I agree.
Was that intended by the writers?
It goes back to what we had said, I think, previous, and that is what we're you have to look back to move forward, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what we've been saying, how previously it's always been about looking back and what the past Avatar, the whole season, but then taking that knowledge, that wisdom, and boom, let's go for it now. So I think, it was put into work.
Right, and that's completely all reflected in the fact that we've lost connection to the past avatars, and she's now starting a new entire line of avatars.
Even more
and
so,
that's gonna move
it
forward.
showed she looked in the past and realized that Wan's decision to have the worlds be separate was a bad decision, and
Right.
they need to be together.
I think we even said that too in one episode, that her conclusion is going to be what she's going to do, what Wan couldn't do.
At first, I was kind of hoping that the conclusion was going to be more open-ended and a little more dark and a little more desperate for the future and moving forward. But then I started reflecting on it. I was like, I kind of like that it was closed with just enough to keep us interested in what is going to happen in the future. Because, it could have been so easy to oh no, the Dark Avatar reigns supreme and the Korra team has to figure out a way to scrap along and survive in this new dark world. But that, to me, wouldn't have been a conclusion to this season. It would have just been like a continuation.
Well, shows do have cliffhangers at their end of their seasons.
Well, sure.
I am playing devil's advocate. But
No, yeah.
Respond to that.
But no, I agree though, because a lot of shows do that, a lot of movies do that. But I don't know. It made me think that because I was expecting that. That's kind of like the expected thing for TV shows to do now, to leave you with these huge cliffhangers that really don't leave you with a sense of finality when a season should be kind of its own nice little closed book.
I thought it was a great finale. It reminded me so much. Mostly because it was a giant spirit fighting another giant spirit. It reminded me a lot of the book 1 finale of Avatar with Koizilla.
Yeah.
And just that giant. I mean, on just a scale. I mean, this was a pretty epic episode. This was a huge episode.
We've never seen something on this big
This is
scale.
Pacific Rim meets Ghost with Will Goldberg.
Well, okay, for me, this entire final... What? That entire fight scene really reminded me of Evangelion, where all the monsters and I don't think you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just the posture and the animation and all this of all the figures were totally reminiscent of that. The scale of the battle, just the way they even shot that laser beam where like a glyph appears. That's totally like classic anime with the beam and the punching.
Even
like,
also the action, like it.
Yeah.
The way the style of action fighting turned it into like it's like wrestling. Like it turns into that's not bending fighting that we've seen the entire time. This is something different.
It's something completely different. Yeah. It was awesome because obviously it's all American show, but they're still calling back to the roots.
That bending was awesome. The whole episode, it's so easy to overlook the cleverness, the art, the animation, all the things that went in. Because it's easy to think of an action scene, punch, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. But these action scenes are choreographed puzzles, really.
Yes. Exactly. You got Bolin and Mako working together, and him earthbending while you're punching. They really have to come up with new ways to make this interesting.
Right. And one of my critiques of the first season was that I felt like that she wasn't using bending in very creative ways.
Nobody was.
Well, but now this one, they're like Mako and Bolin are tag teaming perfectly.
I've got to say that my favorite fight was definitely Tonrak and Unalaq's fight scene. It was those two brothers waterbending. They were
just with water. Fight. Yeah, it was so amazing.
And I just love the way that, there's just frozen pillars everywhere at the end of the fight. And they're just like, you've destroyed this
And they're
city.
giving, and that city was a cool, different environment. And it's kind of like this narrow corridor that they're fighting in. And then every other fight scene that we see in the next part is just different environments, different, kind of like in the forest area. Just, I don't know, mixing it up so well.
And then again, going back to the escalating, each fight is just like, oh my god, how could they top this? How could they top this? Oh, no, and they're... Oh man, it's just like, I want to see Bolin and Mako just go around the world
killing everyone,
fighting around the world.
Okay, I'm gonna be Debbie Downer. I'm gonna be Negative Nancy. Of course, I love the finale. It was awesome. It was awesome. That's his negative.
Oh, Debbie Downer!
Get out of here!
How cool would it have been to have a Dark Avatar as our antagonist for the next 2 seasons, though? Come on, though. How cool would that have been?
It would have been cool. I will admit
how
that.
cool would it have been? How cool would it have been to have to rebuild a Dark World? How cool, there were a lot of what ifs. There were a lot of possibilities. Some of them that we predicted, some of them we speculated, but, and I don't think it's as much as the first season, but it was a little bit it was a little too cleanly wrapped up again.
The thing is that, the argument that we had for it being wrapped up too quickly was that, where are they going to go from here?
Exactly.
We had that argument.
Exactly.
And they clearly showed us that they can take their story, even when it seems like it's been fully resolved, and have another fantastic story that they can tell in one season.
I know,
so who's to say that they can't do it again for 3 and 4?
You're right. You're correct, because we were saying, as we were, watching Beginnings, part 1 and 2, and they introduced the whole concept of Vaatu and Rava, we're like, oh man, Amon is just a friggin' punk now. He doesn't even that guy's small time, what conflict could make this seem put
it on that scale.
Right. How do you escalate from here? How do you go bigger? Sean, tell me why I'm wrong.
I think the most important thing with any ending of any finale, be it cliffhanger or not, is what ultimately has changed. And really, this is a bigger change than anything else that could have.
Yeah.
They combined the spirit, that's a spirit and physical world in one, so they really have left it with a huge potential for where it's going to go.
Right.
So I think it's easy to overlook, there's not an immediate conflict, or they're not immediately in danger, but really it is a huge cliffhanger in terms of what it means for the world.
Well, not only that, but it's also a huge cliffhanger for just a lot of the characters. The relationships that were going on at the beginning of the season, they're all open-ended now. Korra and Mako are broken up for good. Yes, they've already broken up.
Good.
Bolin and Eska, they're broken up too. So basically,
everybody's on the market.
Essentially, that's what I'm saying. It's all open from here. Anyone can get with anyone. Tenzin can get with a lion turtle. I don't know. Aang can get with a wolf bat. I'm just saying, just throwing out possibilities.
Well, now that we're talking about cliffhangers, what could happen? Do you think we're going to see Vaatu again? Is that because we know the nature of how Vaatu and Rava work and how one's born inside the other?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be a presence? How much of a presence? What do you guys think?
We made that prediction that the Avatar is going to have to live with both spirits, with Vaatu and Rava living inside of them. Well, now that Vaatu is in Rava. He's in there somewhere. A little ball of red darkness is in there.
In
and
Korra,
so,
hiding out.
And over time, he's going to grow. And so Korra is going to have that internal struggle to keep the forces of darkness at bay.
I do think that it's going to be relevant, but I don't think it's going to be the main conflict of season 3. I think it's going to be something else. In the same way that, Aang's water bending or whatever, we're still a presence or whatever in the rest of the season, but that wasn't after season 1. That's wasn't what the focus was. Zuko trying to hunt him down wasn't the main there's going to progress. There's going to be relevant, but ultimately it's going to be something we haven't seen before. I think
the other big the other big question that I have is how is the permanent opening of the spirit portal is going to affect the world. What do you guys think that's going to lead to in season 3, and will it be relevant?
Well, there's going to be a lot of xenophobia. Like all these humans are going to be going to the spirit world and vice versa. I mean, really, if I were to say, I think more spirits are probably going to venture out of their land into the humans' world, and the humans aren't going to be so cool with that.
Can Iroh go back and visit Zuko? I know Zuko's an old man, but Iroh can just leave the spirit world. I'm just saying I want to see that scene.
Is it like the end of Mulan, where all the elders, the ancestors
Nothing's like the end of Mulan.
No.
Nothing will ever be that
Well,
good.
Except for that Mako's actually a girl.
Korra can still close the portals, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She could have done it. She
just
chose not to.
I mean, I think that one of the things that while we won't, I still don't think we have really any idea what the main conflict is going to be. I think one of the undertones of the conflict are going to be much more internal struggles, character-wise, but also societal. It's going to go back to maybe even season 1, what they touched about what is right, what is equality? How do we deal with these new ideas, and how do we treat these things that are different than us? But those are going to be some of the things that are going to be underlined.
That's been a theme since the very beginning.
Well, exactly.
Avatar, since the episode 1. That's
I would say more so than the book 1 finale. I know that we predicted that a time jump, like a big time jump, could be possible for book 2, and I would say it's even more possible now for book 3. We're going to see. So it's been 3 years. Where's the world at now? Now that spirits and humans are existing, coexisting, where's the world at now? And a time jump would make sense for the next season.
I agree.
So for this week's viewer response, we just want to know what you guys think of this entire season. What was your favorite part of the season? Chewie?
Please join us on Sunday, November 24th at 5:30 Pacific Time, where we will be showing our favorite answers to that question live.
Well, everyone, season 2 is over, and we just want to thank you. Everyone here at KORRACAST has so much fun, and we love that you tuned in every week to watch us.
Yeah, and we just want to say, we do it all for the love. We love what we do here, and we hope you love it too.
Yeah, and even though Korra is not going to be going on the air every week, we're going to keep you updated on our social media stuff like Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube.
And we're going to try to do a KORRACAST every once in a while like we did in the last break. We're reviewing the comics, maybe a blooper reel here.
You're wasting time.
Let's just use that take.
Well...
Oh, it's too hot.
Quick, reset. What do we use?
We all dive in. It's too hot.
I don't think we're going to get a better take. Let's use that one.
Let's just leave it. You're still recording? I think we leave it. Oh.
If you guys think that's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.